Whenever you're ready.
Good evening, everyone. We're Team 5, and we're going to be talking tonight about interview skills. So obviously, interviews are a very important part of the process of getting a job. I would say one of the most important factors. So we're going to be sharing 4 interview skills, and we do have an enhancement element at this time, but we don't want to present it. So the 4 highlights that we want to cover are the nonverbal communication, knowing your resume, clarifying interview questions, and knowing the company and the interviewer. So I'm going to pass it on to Van, I'm sorry, to cover the first point.
Okay, so my name is Van. So I'll be covering the first, one of the first important factors of a successful interview, which is nonverbal communication or body language. So it is very important to maintain your confidence during the interview. So whenever you walk into the room, make sure your posture is showing your confidence, your back is straight, you have your smile on your face, even though you have a rough morning or you're having a bad day. And then you've got to make sure that you're showing, you're making eye contact with the interviewer, and be sure that you're engaged and showing that you're interested in whatever that they're talking about. And one of the jobs that you should not do is that talk nonstop, because that will end the interview pretty quickly. And don't show that you're bored or uninterested in whatever you and the interviewer are talking about. Because the whole reason that you're there at the interview is because you're interested in the position that you want at the company. So now I'm going to pass it on to Alondra.
Hi guys, so I'm Alondra, and so I'm going to talk about knowing your resume. So first and foremost, when you talk about your resume in an interview, it should be kind of like a walkthrough of your career. And so in the article that we have, it's by Dan Butcher of eFinancial Careers. And so he interviewed Janet Rica, who is the VP and head of campus recruitment at Goldman Sachs. And so she says that you can say something like, I'd like to start from this point when you reference an experience. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the most recent experience. It just has to be the most relevant one. And if they want some more elaboration, then they'll ask you for that at that point. And what you don't want to do is that you don't want to mention every job. So a lot of us have had jobs in high school. You don't have to say that you worked at McDonald's for 2 years. Like, that's fine. You can ignore that. Also, you do not want to forget the points that you have listed on your resume. So you want to make sure that you memorize your resume, because if there is a question that they have that you can't answer, it's going to look really bad. It's going to look like you don't know what you're talking about. And we have a story in here that we're going to save for the actual presentation. So now I'm going to pass it on to Ramsha to talk about the third point.
Hi, I'm Ramsha, and one of the major factors during an interview is to understand what the interviewer is asking. So it's better to just, the easiest part is to paraphrase their question. Like I got interviewed for a healthcare facility, and the interviewer was using quite strong words that I was unable to understand. So I used to ask her that, can you explain me that? And she was really happy that at least I was vocal about it, not, I was confident about it, and then, just understand whatever they're trying to ask. Next slide. So better to, let them finish their question, because sometimes they're halfway through because their questions are really long. So better to, listen to the whole thing instead of breaking in midway and then answering them, because they are sometimes not asking what you think they are. So don't interrupt them, and try to better explain yourself what the question is before saying your answers. So let's move on to the second.
So last but not least, it's very important to know the company that you want to be employed at and the interviewer. So obviously it's very important to want to get employed by a company. You have to know the company's values, its missions, what they stand for. This is important not only because the interviewer might ask you specific questions about, do you know what the such and such news that happened at this company? Or it's also important because it might help you to better answer your questions, your other questions, so by tying in some of the things you know about the company. And also it's important to know your interviewer and your department so you seem interested and knowledgeable. What you don't want to do after researching your interviewer or whatever is asking like inappropriate questions just because you think you know about your interviewer doesn't mean that you should go ask him like what groceries shop that person shops at. Also, it's important to keep everything professional as well. Also, if you don't know the answer the interviewer has asked you about the company or the department, it's better to say that you are not sure rather than pretending to know about something or making up anything on the spot because that person guaranteed will know much better than you do. And I'm going to pass it on to Alondra to recap.
Okay, so what have we learned today? So the enrichment element that we're going to start with is what a really bad interview looks like. So you guys are going to find out what that is. And then, of course, the points that we covered, nonverbal communication, knowing your resume, asking questions to be clarified, and knowing your interviewer and the company are also really important. And so hopefully these things are something you can tie into your professional life. And with that,